All right, what up, everyone? It's been a long time coming, but I'm back as usual. Always fucking disappearing on you guys and then returning at random times, but a drink in a game. But today I'm joined by Mark.
What
So
up? What up?
and later on, Freddie might be joining us soon. He had some, I don't know if it's technical difficulties or whatever, but we couldn't get through to him right now. But so if you see he just pops up somewhere in the middle of this pod, you know what happened. He's supposed to be here too. But today I wanted to talk about a few things. I know I always say I'm going to talk about one or two games, but today I want to first before I get what Mark's playing, just let you guys know I want to go into a few things. But tell me what you're playing, and then if what you're let me know what you playing, man. Oh man.
So sorry, lost all of that chat.
Oh, my bad. All right. So I was just saying that I wanted to start off with what you playing. And sorry, people sometimes with Zoom calls, shit could happen, just so you know. And then, so I wanted to get what you were playing, and then if whatever you're playing is one of the games I wanted to talk about today, we'll just get into it right then and there. So hit me. What's held your interest the longest right now? What you been playing, man?
So Fall Guys season 2 just dropped, and that kind of sucked up some of my time in the evening. It's been kind of busy, so I haven't been playing much. Still with my Sims, so Flight Simulator. Big update that just happened with the Japan update.
Hold on. Let's pause on the Fall Guys season two. So what I played some of it. It has it. I guess maybe the overall hype has changed for me compared to when it first started. So I haven't been on it, or maybe that I need some people to play with right now. Cause I know every time we try to play together, it's like everyone's always busy nowadays. Right now, we're
Yeah.
all trying to get together. So what's in season two other that's gonna make us all want to come back to it, other than the costumes? And I guess they did some different things with some of the levels, right?
Yeah, so it's kind of like an incentive to come back. It's not really like, oh my God, the overall gameplay has changed. It's still the same. You would notice on some levels they added a hammer. Nothing really
Yeah.
new, but it's more so for the costumes and stuff, really. And it is more a game that you should probably have be playing with your friends, like a party game for sure. It's the same thing, like I guess what happened with Animal Crossing. Everybody was on it, and then they kind of tease you a little bit, tease you a little bit more, and then all of a sudden just dropped. It's just one of those things where every now and then it comes out with something new. You go on it for a little bit, and then you move on. But it's not something that you should forget, for sure. But yeah, it's just basically what you just said: new costumes and new levels. But the good thing is that with the cheaters, they did move them off into a different server,
Yeah.
which I don't understand why people would want to cheat in Fall Guys. Like,
Yeah, it's a fun
really?
game. Not even like here's ranked matches and here's custom.
Yeah.
It's just like
like,
you're just playing a game. Like, what's the point
I
of?
mean, seriously, I mean, I get it. If there are levels to exploit, do it. If you could jump over that little yellow brick, go right ahead and do it. It's the same thing like Mario Kart. Those things are built in just for you to exploit. But to mod the game to just cheat, like,
It's
I,
whack.
that's a whole different soul, whole
It's
different
whack.
type
So,
of
well,
soul.
guys, I promise you, I will get back on it. Like, I just wanted to just not be me. Like, to entertain myself, I've been doing it with my kids. So we take turns every time I die. One of them goes. Well, my twins, even though they're always gonna die in the first round, they're not ready for Fall Guys. They could play Sonic and make it like through a world. They could play freaking Crash Bandicoot, which I will be streaming with them, guys. I want people to see how I've been able to train my 5-year-olds to play Crash Bandicoot
All
for
right.
and but for some reason Fall Guys is just something that it's like you, whenever you start dying and see that you start cracking up. These kids are cracking up from the moment the game says go, and they jump and they die and they don't care. They're just like, I died, daddy, I died. So they don't care at all. But still a fun game. I wish they had some type of split screen multiplayer so you could have like other people joining in with you at the same time, your spouse, your kids. That would have been
Yeah.
great. That's like the perfect game for some split screen multiplayer. I don't know why that hasn't been implemented yet, but hey, it is what it is. And then you
I
say you
mean,
were playing flights. Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
yeah, the beauty of it also is that the rounds are only a minute, like a minute, 2 minutes.
Mhm.
So if
Yep,
you die, it's nothing like you really invested hours worth of time into it and then, you just wipe at the last boss. I mean, I've know Final Fantasy 14 levels that you've been sitting there for like ever, and then all of a sudden you wipe at the end, and everybody just has a S fit. But it's just like a 2 minute round. You're in, you're out, and that's why it's good to just have fun and laugh at yourself because you don't have to take yourself so seriously in that game.
I love playing it on
And
the
that
truck. It's the best.
yeah, and that just goes to like what you guys' previous pod was with toxicity. So I mean, if you take it there in Fall Guys, bless your heart, man. But Fall Guys,
It's
get with
fun go
season two.
lucky game, man. Gamers,
Hmm.
we need to be good with each other, man. We need to be good. Fun times. Games are supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be a place where, like, yes, now we can make money playing games, but at the same time, most of you talking shit aren't making money for doing this. So there's no use in caring or going that hard. I have that problem playing NBA 2K21, and it's not even friends, it's my own cousins who
Oh,
fucking just too into this game, and some of their friends I should say be on with us, and if I don't pass the ball at the right time, if I don't block this guy or cut him off, they're like, come on man, how hard are you, do you really play this game, why are you playing this if you don't know how to play? I'm like, well, I'm playing it because I spent my money on it and I'm playing for fun, and you guys are going hard as if you're not going to spend another $60 next year to play the same fucking game and have to restart your stats anyway. So it makes no sense for people that go so hard on sports games every year when you're just gonna have to start over all over again.
I
So
mean, if you're making the millions of dollars like they are on the real game, then more power to you. You can act like the total ass that you want to be.
mhm,
But if you just regular Joe next door, I mean, I'm sorry. I don't know what
makes
to
no
tell
sense.
you. It's just a
It makes no
game.
damn sense.
It's just a game.
All right, and I
But
heard you said flight simulator, right?
yeah.
So what you been doing on there? What's some famous places you've been trying to land on while playing that game? 'Cause I know everyone tries to look for some landmark place when they first play the game, and what keeps you going, man? What's keeping you going with that game? Because I have yet to download it only because of how much space it'll take up on my hard drive, and I'm like, do I really need a game that's gonna take this much space right now? I could save it for later.
So I do like simulators. So Flight Simulator 2020 is a beautiful game, if rendered correctly. The challenge for me is not really taking off. I've mastered that. It's trying to land. And for the life of me,
I heard it could be tough.
um, let's just say the AI is not your friend at all. For all that it's worth, and it tries, it tells you that, yeah, you have control over it. You could manipulate it if it take. No, it will crash your plane. So, um, I've been trying to do the landing challenges that just updated recently. So I've been trying to break my own record. Really, Nepal is pretty a tough landing place to land because it's like a little strip in a mountainside
Mm.
where the wind comes up and just takes over your plane and just smacks you to the ground. Um, but after just having it, in the background, relaxing, it's more like a screensaver. Sometimes you just put it in the air and then you walk away. Hours later, it's still just there doing its thing in the background while your computer's running processes behind it. It's just a relaxing game,
All right.
especially in
And
this like
one thing
crazy,
I wanted
crazy
to
ass
ask,
world.
can you,
Uh,
if you choose a destination to fly to, are you allowed to just go off path and just go anywhere you want?
yeah. So if you have the radio control on, which is going to be on by default, it's going to start yelling at you like, "Hey, you're not going to your destination. Turn around, turn around, turn around." And then eventually, it cuts off, and it's just like, well, you know, you canceled your flight, have fun, and off you go, and you just fly around wherever you want. And if you want to land at a nearby airport, you just turn on your radio again, see what tower you're nearby, and tell it you want to request to land, and then have
Oh,
the navigation show you exactly where to land to, and just have it take it there.
that's not, man.
So
I might have
some,
to download this game, man. It's like,
I,
this
I
sounded like
mean,
like
because
I have to do.
yeah, with the pandemic and all, you can't really travel around too much, and a lot of places don't let us aren't letting us into their countries for obvious reasons.
Mhm.
So, you just take like a little Cessna flight. You just take off at a local airport, and because it's rendered so beautifully in 3D, you get to fly around the city and see like different landmarks and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool. Like you get to be a little quick tourist in an hour or so as you fly around, and then land your plane and off you go and pick another destination and fly there. So I highly recommend.
All right. Another thing, I know we're both playing Among Us. Like, now this game, I guess this is the next version of Animal Crossing and Fall Guys right now. Like, this is just
Yeah.
that game that just came out of nowhere, or it's been around, but people started making memes about it. And once a meme is created, it becomes famous. Like everyone's gonna want to know what this game was, because there's another game out there. I want to shout this game out because this game out has been out for like 2, 3 years already. It's called Town of Salem. Among Us was basically taking the idea of Town of Salem and turn it into something else. Town of Salem to me hasn't been as fun as Among Us, but it has more depth to it, I should say. So like if you probably see it on Steam, it's probably like $5 on there too. It's free on your phone, but they force you to want to pay for it on your phone because you have to run an ad for every game you want to get into if you want to get into the game, which Among Us doesn't make you do if you want to play it for free on the phone. But Among Us, man, it's deceptively great, man. They it's so doing so good that they said they're not making a we don't gotta worry about a separate download. We don't gotta worry about another $5 dishing out because we both paid for it on Steam as well. Even though I only played it that one night on Steam, and all the other times it's been on my phone. But man, what intrigues you? What got you enamored with Among Us, man?
So it kind of goes back to that cuteness of Fall Guys, little jelly bean looking like guys running around. Um, Obviously, Among Us was out earlier, but needless to say, it's just crazy how you get to interact with people. And this is just another level of interaction where it puts some thought into it, and it does have its own cheaters, but we'll get to that a little later, which kind of takes the fun out of it. But um, you get to run around and do tasks, as one of the crew members in the game, and one of you or two or three, depending on who's hosting the game, was suspect, the imposter, as they will, that goes around and murders everybody.
Hmm.
So it's funny just to how people concoct stories to get other people convinced that
Yeah,
you may be the suspect is
yes.
what gets me. It's like, I was playing a game and I was totally with the two people that weren't the imposters, because we were all stuck in a room together trying to work on the
Mhm.
same task, and Red comes out of nowhere and is like, "Hey, this one's suspect," and they're like, "Oh yeah, he is." I'm like, "Guys, I was with you," like,
Yeah,
you know.
a lot of people don't know, and there is a lot of kids playing the game too. 'Cause my son plays the game,
Oh
and
no.
you know, kids be on there, and I just be like, listen, if you're gonna blame somebody else, like make it make sense. Like I tell my son, look around you. If someone is next to you and someone a body's reported, obviously it can't be that person if they were around you the whole time. If you see people running towards the thing that had like if the gas is about to go off or the oxygen level, you see who's running there, you could be like, all right, now I could eliminate these people because they're trying to put the oxygen back on. It's like little things, people, that could help you eliminate who are not the damn imposter. Like it's the little thing, but a lot of people, I think, they just want to fucking just they just listen to the first person that talks. And like I said, like I could just say red and just be the first one to say it, and everyone's gonna vote red, even though they know red was probably just standing right next to them in the cafeteria, and they'll just be like, oh, I guess it's red. And it just, I guess, like, I wish there was a filter for age requirement in the game. It's just like, okay, this is the 20 and up group, here's the teens, here's for you guys 12 and under to play over here, so you guys could do the bullshit you do and just say sus 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 sus. And then those of us who have a level of intelligence and want to figure things out could fucking go in and just be like, all right, this is what's happening right now, let's do and just process of elimination. Is as simple as that. It's process of elimination. But it's still a fun game. It's nice to pass time with and everything. And but let's say right now a lot of hype is around this game, and I starting to hear things that certain websites and stuff are considering Among Us as a GOTY, a game of the year contender. Would you consider this, with its graphical style and its simplicity and stuff? Would you put this in your top 5 nominees for game of the year?
It depends. That category within itself is kind of sus. Like
It always is, because it all depends on who the people are that are nominating games and what they felt. But I know when we do our nominees, because Gamerish Network will have its own award show. So it just, I know we're gonna have to argue as to whose games are getting in this shit. Cause we're trying to put like 4 or 5 games and everything. Hold on real quick, cause my daughter wants to interrupt me. I'm gonna pause this. Okay, sorry, people, had a quick dropout right there. Had to help my kids do something. But yeah, talking about Among Us and Game of the Year. The game is great, but I know there's a lot of hype. Like even the Game Awards right now, Jeff Keighley has announced that they're considering Among Us because of its hype. And he used that word specifically as to be part of their Game of the Year nominations. And we have a lot of games that could go for Game of the Year right now. Like they still have to put Star Wars in there because they didn't put it in last year. We have games like, what's another great, Ghost of Tsushima. We have The Last of Us 2. Cyberpunk is definitely Game of the Year contender. And what is it? I feel like I'm missing one. I'm trying to think of all the games I'm playing right now. Oh, Hades. Hades definitely should be up there too. So those are 5 games. So I guess Among Us could join that 5, but I don't know. I guess us and the crew will have to go and discuss if we're gonna put that in there. I'm not too sure of that yet, but we'll see. We'll see. Maybe it'll probably be in other categories, but you know, I'm not sure about game of the year yet. But
well, that's the key word there, the hype.
yeah,
What constitutes game of the year? Is it just something that everybody's playing right now?
exactly.
Because another game could go ahead and take our focus away, and everybody's going to be like, "Oh, that's game of the year." They had Last of Us Part Two, that also people wanted to become game of the year. People who said Animal Crossing at the time also, because you know it was the focus, and that's what everybody was doing at
Yeah,
the same
Animal
time. But
Crossing
does
too. Yep, I know Mike is going hard for Animal Crossing to be on our Game of the Year list right now, so that might end up on our Game of the Year categories. I know. See, The Last of Us 2 now. What's interesting about The Last of Us 2? Not only did it have the hype, but it had the hate. So many people wanted to hate that game, but they still finished it. They still bought it, but they wanted to hate it, but it's still worth a goatee, whether you like it or not. And and that's a game that was like, I love the story. Yes, we hate what happened. Spoiler alert, we lose one of our beloved characters. Yes, we hate that that happened. But the game was still an awesome game. And those of you that just hated on the game just because one person died is dumb. It's dumb. Like a game is a game. Like if it made you feel something in the first place, it's doing its job. if it made you feel something, because there's those people out there that say games aren't art. Last of Us 2 is art. Like they told you from the get-go before this game came out, The Last of Us 2 is about hate. We want to feed you hate. And they did the one thing that was going to make you guys feel hate. And it worked. And you hated the game for it. Even though we were told beforehand, part two is a game about hate. Like, so, and when part three comes out, this funny thing is the same people that are bitching and moaning are going to buy part three. They're
Oh,
still
of
gonna
course they are.
yeah, they're still gonna buy part three to see what happens next. So, but Goaty Games is gonna be an interesting topic. I know, like we're in October, about to be November, like in next week, and like so we're gonna have to start talking about it soon. But
Uh,
yeah, we just want to wait till Cyberpunk comes out
I was
and
about to say Cyberpunk is just right around the corner,
exactly Cyberpunk. I
and
think Charlie Bedford, shout out Charlie. I know you love when we say your name. It comes out like in 31 days, I believe. We get Cyberpunk 31 days from today. Mm, all right. Anything else you've been playing though, other than that?
no, not really. They updated Smash, so I've been kind of pivoting back towards that.
Are
And
you
trying to
playing with
get on
Steve
board.
and Alex?
Not yet. Not yet. But I may go ahead and try them and give them a whirl. I don't know where Nintendo's going. We're picking up these characters lately, but I mean, it is
Who
what it
would you
is.
like to see in Smash?
Oh God, I'm gonna have to parking lot that one. That's a good question. That's a
What's
good
your
question.
You know who would I think the guy from Hades would actually be good in Smash, even though that would be like a tough tough thing right there to get him in the game. Even though they said they could add. What was funny is that Microsoft actually, or it wasn't Nintendo. Nintendo actually came out and said if Microsoft asked, or no, Microsoft came out and said they will put Master Chief in Smash if Nintendo calls them. They're ready to put Master Chief in Smash. And there goes Microsoft again, showing people that they don't care about the console wars. So I don't know why so many of you are still stuck on this console war concept. It's just something that you guys use to argue on the internet with, because console wars are dead. Like Microsoft is making their money. Every game that you're going to be playing from all the developers that they bought up, they're getting money from. Even the games that were exclusive, they announced the other day on one of the games out of the two that the Microsoft said they were going to honor those deals. One of the studios came out and said the game will release on Xbox as well. And they said that when they originally came out with the trailer, they claimed that they never told anybody that it was going to be PlayStation exclusive. So they don't know where people were talking about that it became PlayStation exclusive. But forgot the name of the game, but it is what it is. I just read that yesterday. What
I
else
mean,
is
a lot of people now have more than one system. For us to be going around and being like, "Oh, Nintendo sucks," this and that. You have a Nintendo and you have
what's funny is
somewhere.
no one says Nintendo sucks. Like, what's funny, yo, man, I hate when I have to get into this mode, but it's
So
always this thing where you guys argue Xbox 360, Xbox specs versus PlayStation specs, but yet Nintendo specs are worse than the two, but you're still playing your Nintendo. You argue that, oh, you can't play all these PlayStation exclusives on Xbox, but you don't go and say you can't play these PlayStation exclusives on Nintendo, and you don't go and say, hey, you can't play Mario on Xbox or PlayStation either. So like all these arguments you people need to make, like if you want to be legitimate, give me a reason why your system is better than Xbox and Nintendo. And Nintendo is still part of the console race, guys. Nintendo exists. And stop acting like just because Nintendo goes off and does their own thing, that doesn't mean that they're not here competing with Xbox and PlayStation. Like, please don't come at me with your console war bullshit, especially someone that owns everything. As you can see, I'm on PC, I'm on Xbox, I'm on PlayStation, I'm on Nintendo, and I play on my phone. I don't care what it is. I own it all because I want to play it all. gaming is gaming. Be satisfied. If you can't afford an Xbox now, and just come out and say, hey, I'm mad because I can't afford an Xbox. Okay. And so that way, we know. Just tell us you're mad because you couldn't buy an Xbox. And that's why you're just going to go with Sony stuff. Also, a lot of you that are here have PlayStations because when PlayStation came out, when you were younger, PlayStation was cheaper than Xbox when it first came out. Okay, guys? Or either this way, Sony's name was known more for video games than when Microsoft came out with a console. That's why your parents bought you a PlayStation. If they had the money to buy you both, they probably would have bought you both, but they didn't. They only had the money to buy you one. Luckily for me, I had a grandmother that said, okay, your daddy bought you that, I'm gonna buy you this. So I got lucky, and I'm not gonna flaunt that, even though I say all the time, but I'm a hardcore gamer and I never grew up saying, oh my God, I hate my Xbox because it doesn't have this. Oh my God, I hate Nintendo because they didn't do this. No, and to me, the best system out there so far in my life has always still held the best times in my life is N64. Nintendo 64 is still the best days of my life. I just want to throw that shit out there, okay? Before any of you think I'm hating or even sound like I'm picking sides, because I most definitely am not. All
Don't
right.
get me wrong. Some hate for each of the consoles is good. It puts pressure on them to do better and try
Yeah.
to listen to you guys. And, you know, because without you giving them feedback, they would never change for what they do. But let's not be fooled. Nintendo, they could go ahead and repackage something next year. You're gonna sit there and be
You're
like,
gonna
"Oh,
buy
here they
it.
go again. Here they go again." But you buy it at sixty-five
Mhm.
dollars anyway,
Yep.
and
People
it's a
complain,
freaking 10-year-old
oh my
game.
God, the new Halo game, Halo Infinite graphics are shitty. But Nintendo literally released 3 games with no graphical enhancements on them, and we all bought it. 3 games with no graphical enhancements on them. And we all bought it and we did not complain. We did not complain. We didn't hit up Nintendo. We didn't tweet them. What the fuck is this? No, none of y'all did that. Y'all still went and bought your Marios. You went and played it because you'll do that, but you guys hold double standards. So all I'm saying is if you're going to hold one company to a standard, go and complain and bitch to another company about the same shit because nobody holds Nintendo at that standard that we hold Microsoft and Sony. This is why Nintendo will continue to fuck us over, and we're gonna be happy. We're gonna keep being happy that we're getting fucked over because hey, Mario's name is in the title. Hey, Link is there. Hey, oh my God, we haven't seen Star Fox in how long? Oh my God, they're bringing F-Zero back. And even if they give us the same F-Zero game that they gave us on the Wii and didn't remaster it, you guys are gonna buy it anyway. You're not gonna say shit. You
Well,
know,
loops right back into Smash where they just put
yeah,
Minecraft people. You literally got 8-bit people
yes.
playing against everybody else,
Mhm.
and and they can do that. And isn't subconsciously we give Nintendo a pass? Do we just say, "Oh, I mean, shit, my 2 or 3 of my Joy Cons drift," you know,
I
and
don't
I'm
even
still there,
complain.
like,
I literally spent 100 and fucking no $210 buying Joy Cons over 3 times already. Even my pro controller has a drift problem, and I just went out. I didn't complain. I didn't go and hit them up. Well, one thing I should say is I'm not the type of guy that could wait. I can't wait to get things, so I'm not patient. If I have the money to buy something now, I'm buying it. So if my controller breaks today, my controller could break right now. I'm not going to call somebody and be like, hey, how much it costs to fix this? No, I'm going to Best Buy right now or GameStop, and I'm going to replace it right now because I have the means to do that. As long as I have the means to do it, I'm just going to spend the fucking money. I'm the type of guy that buys shit at his house, too lazy to fucking go and too lazy to fucking put it together. And I spend at least $200 every other week to fucking go and pay somebody to fix things up in my house because I am that fucking lazy. And Freddie G has just joined us, people. Just want to let you know.
Everybody.
So
Mhm.
Fred, just to catch you up, we've been talking about right now. We were talking about game of the year, so we're talking about Among Us, and we're talking about this Among Us deserve to be part of the game of the year discussion. With the way that it looks and stuff. Like, would you think when we do Gamerish Game of the Year, would you consider Among Us as part of the Game of the Year discussion? Now, I was talking about something else because we went totally left field. Because ended up talking about how Nintendo does the same shit. We talked about console wars too. But before I get into that, tell us, do you feel Among Us deserves to be in the Game of the Year discussion?
Maybe I don't know. I would say like a certain category in Among It. Like if we do like a game of the year for best mobile PC kind of game, then yeah, like the fact that you could play on the handheld and have the same experience on the on PC, that's great. I mean, I'm not big on mobile games, but this is a mobile game that I enjoy playing. You know?
Mhm. But would you consider if we had to only
No,
pick five
no,
games? No. Okay. There
not
we
even
go.
close.
And then so we also because we were getting into comparisons, we were talking about console wars now and people going into like hating on stuff on PlayStation, hating on Xbox. And I was talking about how people just got what their parents were able to buy them growing up, and that's just what you stuck to. Like if your parents had enough money to buy you an Xbox because it was more expensive than the PlayStation when it came out, they probably would have. If it was cheaper than the PlayStation, you would have grew up an Xbox kid.
Yeah.
Okay, our parents growing up bought us whatever they could afford. They didn't care about what we wanted. They cared about what they could fucking afford. And like I tell my son, you're so goddamn lucky that I'm an addict because your dad will get you the cheapest system if I couldn't afford it. My kids are lucky that each one of them own a Switch. At 5 years old, 12 years old, each one of these kids have their own Switch, with their own set of games. Like it's ridiculous, and your dad or
Yeah,
your
I think that's why Nintendo's so popular is because we all grew up on it. But imagine Nintendo coming out right now, facing PlayStation and say PlayStation 1, Xbox 360, and then Nintendo, whatever generation that was, the GameCube. If that all happened at the same time, you think anybody be playing game like Nintendo games right now? I
they
think
would.
Xbox I
Here's the
think
thing.
Xbox and PlayStation wouldn't. I think they would dominate and it would be Nintendo. I mean,
Thing is
Nintendo's
that
already kind of third,
Nintendo
but
has the names. That's the
oh,
problem.
I'm saying because we
Nintendo
grew
has
up
the
on it
names.
and we reckon like Power Rangers. Just an instance, Power Rangers the shit because the Power Rangers we grew up made it what it is now. So I'm saying if you took that away, if you took away the nostalgia factor of Nintendo, do you think it was? I don't think
Nope,
that.
definitely wouldn't
Exactly,
be
that's what I'm
making no
saying. I think
money. They would have made money out of the handheld part, but
yes.
they would because of the handheld will probably buy it. But other than that, if there was no Mario never existed, Link never existed, Kirby, Star Fox, all those characters didn't exist that we just know under the Nintendo banner, Nintendo would be dead by now. Like look at Sega. Sega had a lot of great. Sega Dreamcast to me is one of the best consoles to ever come out. We're missing our Power Stone right now. We got our Shenmue, we still got our Sonic, but imagine if they told us that we will never see Shenmue again because Sega died. We'll never see Sonic again because Sega died. We're never gonna see Power Stone again, even though we still haven't seen Power Stone and stuff. But there's still a lot of games that were on that Sega Dreamcast that we wish could come out again, even though we're getting them now. But Sega Dreamcast was just ahead of its time. The graphics were better than all the consoles at that time. It was just that people weren't ready for it. We weren't ready for the future when the future was right in front of it. I compare Sega Dreamcast to the iPhone when it first came out. Remember in high school when I was the only person with an iPhone
Yeah.
and everybody had Blackberries, not Blackberry, they had the sidekicks, and everybody was like, oh, you have the shitty iPhone. I'm like, this shit does 10 times the amount of shit your fucking phone can't do. What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? My phone is the latest. Remember, that was my line. I have the latest and greatest piece of technology known to man, but all of you are still stuck on sidekicks. And as the iPhone got bigger, and people went on to BlackBerry next, and I'm still on my iPhone, and people are like, oh, you still rocking iPhone when Blackberries are out? I'm like, you guys just care about AIM. I care about a phone that has other things than being able to talk to people. Oh, excuse me. So that's what I compared Sega Dreamcast to. It just the future was there. People didn't recognize it. Now everybody clamors about the Sega Dreamcast. You know,
Um,
but Mhm.
Mark, did you have a Sega Dreamcast growing up?
I did, and I also had a GameCube.
Okay.
So I didn't want to talk about the nostalgia factor for a second because if it wasn't for Nintendo, Sega wouldn't have pushed itself to try to come out with Sonic, you know. So let's just say, for instance, it didn't exist. Would people have gone to Nintendo? I think so because Nintendo was hitting a different niche at that point in time. It was all about having your friends over for a four party versus four mix. So you had Smash Brothers, you had Mario Kart, you had Mario Party, and you know
Mario
just
Party. Oh my God, I love Mario Party.
just like after GoldenEye with the N64, moving on with that thing to the GameCube, updated graphics, of course, from the N64, whatever. Yeah, it wasn't going the route, and it never is going the route of PlayStation or Xbox. They know they have their own market, and that's why everybody's going to have Xbox, Nintendo, PlayStation, Nintendo. Just like you, Andre. Now I'm blessed too to have almost all of them, because I can, because I just want to play a game. I don't care
Yes,
what system it's on you
exactly.
know but we can't shut out what came before it, and Nintendo was there after Atari, because shit, we could all still be playing with blocks on a screen, but we're beyond that, and some of us still do with Minecraft. So no hate, Minecraft players with blocks on a screen. But I give it out to all of them, because we're still playing
Right.
on their shitty things no matter
I'm
what.
just glad we have choices. Like, I'm just happy we have choices. Like, I don't care what the game is on. Like, I'm happy we get to play these games. I'm just glad I'm thankful I'm able to be in a position to afford all these systems so that way I'm not limited to what my knowledge in games is. It's good to be able to play something different, guys. Like you Sony guys to go out there and keep saying exclusive, exclusive. Microsoft is getting there, and you guys keep. It's funny thing too is that everyone keeps shitting on the things that you wanted and you loved about PlayStation that Microsoft is doing now, and now all of a sudden it's whack because Microsoft is doing it too. When Sony was buying stuff like, oh, Microsoft not spending that money, now Microsoft is spending the money. Oh, Microsoft's trying to monopolize video games, we need to make a petition. Then you said PlayStation has all the exclusives. Now Xbox is gonna have shit like Fallout, Elder Scrolls, The Outer Worlds 2, because there will be a part two of Outer Worlds. All those Don't Nod games that I cry about. Like Xbox is gonna have those games, and now you guys like, oh, Elder Scrolls was that shitty, glitchy shit. I didn't want to play that anyway. But yet they made millions of dollars of us buying it on like 3 generations of consoles. So don't tell me you didn't play Elder Scrolls. And those of you that are saying I'm gonna play it on PC anyway, Microsoft makes money off of every fucking PC bought, idiots.
I
So it
mean, yeah, it
doesn't
has. I mean,
matter.
I think people
Yeah,
forget that like
yeah,
Microsoft is on a different
yeah,
level than Sony. Like Microsoft
exactly.
is Windows. Like if you don't
Yes.
realize that, like
You
Microsoft is
have
Windows.
Windows. Microsoft is
They already
making money
won.
off the PC, whether you like it or not. And what are you gonna do? Are you gonna go and spend $60 or $70 on Steam for the next Elder Scrolls, or are you gonna get Game Pass where you just have to pay $16 a month and go and download the same fucking game that you could save some money on your damn streaming? Most of you're gonna get Game Pass, so don't even
So
bullshit.
it makes me. I'm trying to figure out. I don't understand all the Xbox hate. I don't see where it's
Yeah,
coming from, but I think you touched on it. I think it's the console they grew up on. I think
exactly.
other Sony
That's what it
people
is.
had a PS1, PS2, and they just didn't care about Xbox. But like, I don't understand why that becomes like toxic. When does that happen? Like, when do you like PS2 came out, Xbox 360? When did it click for people? Like, you know what? Fuck this system. Like, I don't understand why it needs to
Me and
be like
Mark
that.
actually went into
It,
that before well, at least I brought it up. Like I told Mark, just tell us if you can't afford the system, just say, hey, I hate the system because I can't afford to have it too. You know, like don't come out and come up with a bunch of excuses of why this system sucks if you don't have the means to own it and come up with your own real opinion. Because
Well,
we
that's
are in
why
a go ahead, Mark.
that's why it's like, yeah, no, they're all shitty at some point or another. They
Yeah.
all release their hardware specs, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, X, Y, Z," or oh, they're gonna have that, but that's okay because I got this exclusive. Oh, Nintendo has a drift on their, on their controllers. Boo Nintendo, but I'm gonna spend $60 on Mario 64. So for all it's worth, as much as we hate on them, we still love them, and and that's true. It is a viable thing. If you can't afford it, I get it, but don't let that be the level or
Yeah,
the reason why you hate
Yeah.
a
don't hate the
system.
system just because you can't afford it. Like for real.
And it's such a tribe. Get out of that tribe mentality.
Yes.
It's not camp Nintendo, camp PlayStation, camp Xbox anymore. Everything's in cloud. Everything streams. We're all cross platforms. And that's where the future's going. So get with it. Get with it. Trust me.
And
And
what's up with the cloud gaming like Stadia? Why does that get so much shit?
Yeah, I don't know why people hate on Stadia. People don't even like to bring up Stadia. I think people just thought Stadia was gonna come out and be like, "Hey guys, look, every third-party game you've had on all your systems is just gonna be here on the first day of Stadia." There, people are forgetting that this is coming out at the end of a console generation. Stadia could still be there with newer games as it comes out. We don't have to have everything in the past, which they're starting to bring. They came out with an email and they showed us that they're bringing the Ubisoft library into Stadia. They're trying to get EA to get their stuff on there. Like, and Stadia, I don't know, man. It's just hate for something you haven't even tried yet. Like, it's great. People don't know how easy it is for me to just put down my controller. I have my PlayStation on, but I will still turn off my PlayStation and go play Destiny 2 on my Stadia because I don't have to worry about these long ass load times. One thing about Marvel Avengers, which I'm about to get into next, I don't have to worry about those long ass load times playing it on Stadia, even though
You
I haven't done it, but I've seen comparison
okay.
videos and where the load time is much shorter, on Stadia than it is. I'd be sitting here for like 5 minutes on a load screen sometimes on fucking on PlayStation waiting to play my damn next level on Avengers and shit. But what are you gonna say, Fred?
I was gonna say, I they did a video comparing Stadia's load times to the new systems, and they match up to the new Series X, and they match up to the new PS5, and it's crazy because just like any like Stadia is cloud based, but they do have hundreds of servers. They have like it's a system that is
Google.
yeah. So like they're gonna improve their tech over time. So Stadia is only gonna get better. And I'm not the Stadia fanboy. I have games on it. I have everything. But like there is a niche for Stadia. I don't think I'll play Cyberpunk on it, but for certain games, I think it makes sense, especially games that I could play on my phone, go to my TV, go onto my laptop. There's certain games I want that, and there's certain games I don't want that. But I
I
think
love
Stadia,
cloud gaming, man.
yeah,
Cloud
and
gaming.
that's what I'm saying. And there's a reason why Xbox put their feet in this because they know that this is the future. That eventually the technology is going to catch up, or you're not even going to notice the difference. I'm not saying we're there yet, but I'm saying we could get there maybe sooner than we think.
Mark, have you invested in Stadia?
not since it's free play. I mean, I did try a couple of things on it. So I do see the appeal for it because it is eventually going to be the way that it's going. I'm just wondering where Sony is going to pick up on this because Amazon, I think they
Oh yeah,
released one of their
and
own
Luna.
trying things, and that didn't really. I don't know if that worked out so well for
Well,
them.
no, they didn't release it yet. They're doing early access on Luna right now. But the way Amazon's thing is though, Amazon is set up that you're paying for their service, and for anybody else's service that comes on, you have to pay for theirs also. And Stadia does 4K. Amazon is not doing 4K. They're sticking to 1080p. And like say EA Play comes to Amazon service, you have to pay for Amazon service and EA Play. When Ubisoft stuff comes to Luna, they said you have to pay for the Amazon and Ubisoft subscription service. So you're gonna, for every set of games you want, you're gonna have to pay another. You could possibly be paying another fee for everything, so it could add up.
So not user friendly. For not for your wallet anyway.
Yeah.
Um, so well, I guess that's a good thing because Amazon almost owns everything. So let's be the one thing that they are not good at. But with Stadia and them and Xbox, they are moving to gaming. I could go between my PC and my soon to be Xbox when I do get it. I haven't owned an Xbox myself, so I was one of
Ever?
those never.
Oh
And I
my
think it
god.
wasn't because so much. So it wasn't much because of Xbox boo, PlayStation yay. It was because everybody I knew was on PlayStation.
Yeah.
So why would I play multiplayer on an Xbox with people I don't know? So because of that, and all my friends were on PlayStation, I never really wanted to go spend money on an Xbox for something I already have a game for that everybody else is on.
What's funny is
So
like when Xbox 360 was out, everybody was on Xbox 360 because that's where the multiplayer was at.
Yeah, that was the
Before
best.
PlayStation had that shitty ass attachment you had to put and all that
on
shit.
the box, yeah.
Yeah, that fucking brick, and then the only thing that was like viable on there was like the fucking SOCOM, which barely worked well, until PS3 came out. But then PS3 shit wasn't even that good, so that shit was to be free. It had to be free when it came out, and they
Speaking of
didn't really.
SOCOM, when is that coming back, man?
Yeah, SOCOM needs to come back. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they're scared of Ghost Recon right now,
Yeah.
so they're like, man, Ghost Recon is gonna kill us if we don't pull out something great. Maybe a PS5. I'm pretty sure SOCOM is gonna come back. It's gonna come back, But let's get to the next game. We kind of went away from everything, but whatever. This is, like I said, this is a free form pod. That's what a drinking game is about. It's like you guys sitting at a bar and us just talking shit about games and the gaming industry. Next up, since Freddie is here, me and you have both dipped our hands into Hades.
Oh
And
yes.
Hades definitely, I think, might make the Gamerish Game of the Year contention list.
Yeah, definitely a
Now,
conversation.
yeah, like Mark was me and Mark were texting back and forth. And Mark hasn't played it yet, but he was looking it up on Steam and he saw just how it is. And I told him like he's not gonna be disappointed in this game. Hades is a game like I hate shit like Bloodborne and shit, which makes me die all the time. I love Hades, although I die all the time because Hades makes me feel good about dying.
Yeah.
If that's weird to say, it makes me like you die, you get power ups, and but then when you die, it's like the people that you run into, they make fun of you for dying. Things change when you go back to your home base. Your father is like, who is Hades? He's like, oh, you tried to escape again. What is this? Like the sixth time you've tried to go through it and you're still dying, and you just end up right back here. And then you get random power-ups as you're running through the game. And after a while, you get these different weapons like the bow, the spear, the shield, and you're like, man, you cling to one, but each of them have their benefits and downfalls, but you just want to play with them all because
Yeah.
it's just like, let me see how far I can make it using this weapon, and if I power this up, and who knows when I'll get another power up here in this room or that room, and it's just like I love to have fun. Like this is the first game that I can keep dying and I don't care. Like even though I got mad one time, I made to the first boss finally after like 5 tries, and then I died. And I'm just like, fuck. Now I gotta go do this shit again because I was like this close to killing her, and I'm just like, whatever. I know I'm gonna get stronger now by the time I get to her. And let me try this other weapon. My weapon of choice right now is like the shield. I think the shield is really
I was gonna say
doing
that's my favorite one too.
yeah, the
Sure.
shield is like it's funny because I never like using shields in games, and this is the first game that made having a shield fun, other than playing with Captain America and Avengers, but that's a story for later, but Freddie, what you love about fucking Hades,
Hades.
man?
I was gonna say that it's just the art style, really, honestly. Like that's the first thing that because this is a roguelike action RPG. There's a few of those out there, and they're all kind of similar in structure of go out, get a whole bunch of loot, become a badass, die, do it again. But this is the first one that I felt that's very has a good story behind it. There's a reason why you're doing everything, and each character makes you feel like you're actually achieving something more than just becoming a badass at the end, but you're investing into this character of him trying to get out, and then the characters are just funny. But I was surprised again with the shield. I didn't think I would like it. It's not my usual play style. I don't know what made me like it. But I was just looking up about who makes it, and these are the people that made Bastion, which is one of my favorite games on 360. And that
Never
probably
give it a chance.
that was like that game. The narration in that game, you can feel the vibes from him. Like he's always talking to you. There's always a voice there. There's always somebody pushing you farther down. And I think that's just good storytelling in a game, and usually in a game type where you don't really have much story, like Dead Cell. Have you ever played Dead Cell?
Yeah, I played Dead Cell.
There's no story on it. You were just killing, going through different floors, but I don't remember the story really. But it was a fun mechanically a good game. But I think this is something just different enough to make me want to keep coming back.
Yeah, I can't stress enough, people. If you have a chance to buy Hades, like, just spend, what is it, $25?
Yeah, I think I caught it on a Steam sale too.
Yeah, $25. I bought it for 25 on my Switch. I'm playing on Switch right now. And it's good to just, like, when I wake up in the morning and I'm giving my kids breakfast, I sit down with my Switch and I'm playing some Hades, man. And it's great. I still haven't beat it. They do, for those who get irritated easily like me, there's a God mode. If you get irritated, you could turn on God mode and just blow through the game if you want to do it that way. But for me, who you guys have heard for years bitch about hard games, like, for me not to want to use God mode, that's saying something, because I am the ultimate God mode user. If you could give me a God mode on any game, I'm going to use God mode. And for Hades, I just feel like I'm defeating the purpose if I use God mode. I really feel I'm defeating the purpose of the game, of the God mode. But Hades is a great fucking game. So much to do, so many rooms to go through,
Yeah.
so many playthroughs to have.
And like you were saying with every time you die, there's like, it's not like it sucks to die, but like there's a payback. There's like you go back, you have a conversation with all these different characters, and they acknowledge what you did. Like I got to the boss and I beat her. When I finally died, we had a conversation about how, like, next time I got so much shit because you killed me. I'm not gonna be so easy next time. And like they're acknowledging what you're doing. And other games in this type of games, there's no acknowledgement. Like you go really far and it's just like, okay, 0, start over again, like a new game. This doesn't feel like a new game when you die. And I think that's why this is really good. It acknowledges that you're dying, and it makes you feel like it's part of the story. Like you're supposed to die to move this along. Which why I like Dark Souls too. It's like you die, but like you feel like you learn something and you gain something from the story when you die.
And I did admit, guys, I'm buying Dark Souls for PS5. When I get my PS5, it's already pre-ordered. I will have it. I will stream it. I will curse. I will struggle. I will be pissed off, and I'll probably cut off the stream 15 minutes in. But I will stream it and let you guys see just how bad that fucking game treats me. Okay.
Mark, I was gonna say, do you play these type of games?
Me, the roguelites?
No, Mark. Yeah.
Like Hades?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like Diablo. I like dungeon crawlers. It's been a while since I had a good dungeon crawler. But I just finished downloading it, so I know right after this I'm gonna go play it. So on the next pod I will definitely let you know my feelings about it. But just what you're saying with the acknowledgement of your accomplishments, yeah, we do like a reward system in the game, and sometimes it's good to have the game respond back to you.
Yeah.
As fluid as games do. It's a good incentive. So I can't wait to jump on it. But yeah, that's all I really got to say about it until I get into it.
Next game up, I want to talk about now. This is going to lead to two conversations, but I know you guys haven't played Avengers yet, and I was trying to get my boy Shamiro on here because this guy lives, eats, and breathes fucking Avengers. Like this guy, but he's nervous to be on camera, people. So he keeps giving me every excuse in the book. Sorry, Shimmy, I'm gonna shout you out right now because you have so much to say about this game because he texts me at least 100 times a day about what he's doing in Avengers. And you know, it'd be great to have your input, Shamir. But now you're telling me that you're cooking. I know you're not cooking. All right. But anyway, Avengers is a game that people are hating on right now. But lo and behold, when I put that poll up on our Facebook page, it's #1 in games that people are playing right now, which is funny. This is one funny thing that I found. Like every time I put a post up about it, people are like RIP Avengers, blah, blah, blah. But when I put the poll up, it's the #1 ranked game right now for what people are playing. And even though the game needs a lot of work, I don't know why people are hating. One, yes, they admit that they have to put all these patches out, but they put them out the week of, people. Like we get this, and I'm excited about going in the game and seeing what's changed. And it keeps me going. Like it's something about this game and the progressive system that just keeps me going in it, like leveling up my people, seeing how strong I can get. Like Destiny, I'll say Destiny has the one up on it because whenever I level up on Destiny and I get new items and stuff, there's a physical change to your character. It shows, hey, look what I got because I did all of this. That's what Avengers is missing. Avengers doesn't have anything there saying, hey, look at what I got because my guy is because I leveled up this much. It just has your power level and your regular level, and people don't know what attachments you have to you because there's no way of showing that. You know, so I say Destiny gives you more of a reason to keep going back as opposed to Avengers. But Avengers just, although it's
Is it?
bad, like I like it that the developers have been honest every week. They come out and they say, okay, this is all our fixes, and we're gonna fix it now. Hey, we're pushing back the Hawkeye stuff because we need to fix all this stuff, and we don't want you guys to be stuck with all this bad stuff before you guys get the Hawkeye stuff. That's a good thing, people. What if Cyberpunk came out and it was mad glitchy and shit? You know, like you guys will be pissed. You know, we're already pissed. Some of us are pissed. Some of us are happy that they delayed it until it's finished. And you guys say that now, but if the game came out and then there was a huge patch, a bunch of you would be complaining, oh, now they got to patch the game. But it's a good thing. Like, even though Avengers could have used early access for us to tell them all these things, and I'm going to get into that in a second, it's still an okay game to me. You know, like,
Yeah, I think like you said, it's an okay game, and
yeah.
like I regret paying $60. I think I paid more because I was so impatient that
I paid
the
the 79,
extra the 79. Do I regret that? Yes. Is it still a fun game? Yes. I think that there's a balance. I think that people have a right
You're
to
playing on
criticize.
Xbox, right?
Yeah, I play on Xbox. I beat the game. I played a little bit. I'm trying to level up my Thor, who is my main guy.
Working on Capped right now.
And like the thing that saved this fucking game from being not complete trash is the combat. The combat, the combos,
Love the combat.
that's the bread and butter of this game. Everything else needs work on. But if they could just keep refining the combat, not even refining, just make everything else match up to that, it's gonna be a really fun game. But the bugs is annoying. The costumes, like I'm all for getting paid. Like if you're gonna charge me for stuff, I'd rather be cosmetics. So and it's just the game industry that we live in now, where they're gonna try to just get you to buy stuff. I get it. They need to lower those prices because if they lower those prices by like with $15, if they lower it to like $10, I might be more open to buy me a new Thor fucking costume. But it's too expensive, and it just feels like
you do the daily challenges to try and unlock more, and like the each character's like season pass like thing.
But that's what I'm saying. Like I paid almost $80 for this. Do you like why you making me give you like why you making it so hard for me to have a badass Thor? It's like work with me here, you know? Like that's what I'm saying. Like I think they could be a little more friendly with like giving us like if they just made it a little easier to grind, then next season or whatever season they do, I'm probably be more open to do it because I know that I'm gonna get something out of it. But right now, everything feels like a grind without the immediate rewards, and that's my only issue. And that's like you said, Destiny did a good job. When I grind for a dungeon and I finally get that piece of fucking sweet gear, it looks badass on me, and people around me sees that and be like, okay, that's pretty cool. But like if I grind forever and I get a new like armor piece, you don't know. Like I'm no different than somebody who just started the game. Like that doesn't make me feel good.
They don't. It's no way of showing like, look how much work I put into this.
They need
But when
to,
I got a new costume, people are just like, damn, you
spend
paid
money.
for that?
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Because I literally spent up to now another $80 on credits to buy new costumes on Avengers, just so I could be in all the multiplayer matches. Like, look what I got. You guys don't got this shit.
Yeah.
Like I literally spent this shit, and then on taunts and shit. Like I buy the epic taunts, and so I could be in the elevator with people and be like, yo, you don't got this. Look at my Iron Man with fireworks behind him. You guys don't got this shit. Like it's just yeah, they caught me with that, but like I always say, like I'm grateful that I'm in a position that I could waste that type of money right now and do that. But if they put that in a way that rewards us other than just these things, like reward us with these emotes, reward us with these costumes, more than us having to grind mad hard, giving us these challenges and shit on top of the other things, then maybe it'll be better.
Yeah, if they did like a skin where like, let's say they do a dungeon, and the only way to get this skin is to beat that dungeon, then like I would do that dungeon. And knowing that like if I have the skin on, people recognize what I achieved. I think they need something like that.
The hives, like the hives are basically Avengers name for dungeons. And is you go through them. Like reason I couldn't do this at 1 o'clock is because I was doing a hive. Like, I couldn't start the pod because I was in the middle of a hive and I'm just playing that. I'm just
Is that a conscious thing that they did, or is that something that because the technology's there, so there's no reason why they couldn't implement that on their characters? Is this like a conscious thing by them, or?
I think they said that they wanted to stay true to the outfits and the costumes. They didn't want it to like be too mismatchy, and they would just take away from the history of like the superheroes.
Yeah, so they just put all that stuff in their little, like they have each character. Like if you want it, they literally came out and said, hey, if you spend $20 for each character, you can unlock their whole season pass, well, their whole tree, and get all the emotes, get all the costumes. But those aren't even all of them, because every week there's new costumes that you could buy, but they want you to spend like 1,000 credits, and 1,000 credits is like another $5, to just easily go and buy or grind your way through a whole bunch of shit to get all that shit. So one reason that keeps me going back is because some of these missions have gotten higher in difficulty, and it's like, all right, let me grind out with this character. And then when I'm finally able to play that mission, I feel so good that I'm not getting killed in 2 shots now. Like the game still makes me feel good for getting stronger, for being more badass. And I love it when, say, Mo is way behind, and he asks me to join him in a mission. I love being level 60 something and him being level 20 something and knowing I'm gonna mow through all this shit for you. Like my character is mad strong. Look what my progress did for me. So there's that factor in which, you get that powerful feeling if you just go in a quick match or you want to help your friends. But I just feel like they just need to do more to make us feel more accomplished. I wish there was a way that they could make our items that we unlock, our legendaries and stuff, show on our bodies like Destiny does. I don't care if I have to switch it every 2 minutes. I just want it to show, like people to be like, yo, how you got that Hulk? Like, give me the Hulk mask, that helmet he had, and like the Thor movie when he was in like the Hulk world and shit. And like, yo, you had to go through that shit to get that shit, like you were saying, Freddie, to basically just I just want to show people how badass I am. But I still love the game. It's still a 7.5 to me, sometimes an 8 when I get in certain areas. But I just want to tell people, like, it's still an okay game. Maybe wait for next gen so you don't have to worry about load times if you haven't bought it yet.
Those elevator times,
are just
like,
loading screens.
I'm like, this is Mass Effect, man. Like, what is this?
The elevators are long ass loading screens, take like fucking 3-4 minutes for us to reach the next floor all the time. You know, that shit is annoying. You know, hopefully they fix that when we get our upgrade. I think in December we're getting no. Destiny said they're giving us our big update in December, but
Do you think this game is dead? I mean, I
I
saw
don't
an
think it's dead.
article where like it's like it had like 1,000 people on Steam.
Yeah,
So on
people on
Steam,
Steam
it's
have
dead.
dropped out of it. I don't think it's dead yet. I think once they get that content, once that Hawkeye content comes, people are going to be interested because it's
So
moving on the story. And they already said that they have Black Panther stuff coming. They just didn't want to announce it because of his timely death. So they didn't want it to look like we're trying to profit
which
off of
was
Black
good.
Panther.
Yeah.
So we have Hawkeye and we got Black Panther coming. People are gonna hop on Black Panther when that shit
So
comes out.
I got a question, Dre. Since you're really going hard for this game, what is difference between this and Anthem? Because to me, I love Anthem when it first came out. I played the shit out of it, and I think the same thing. The combat was really fun, but it seems like it's having the same problems that Avengers is having. So, what is making you keep playing Avengers and not Anthem anymore?
Well, Anthem, I stopped playing Anthem because they told us that they were gonna come with this big, huge update, and then everything's gonna be fixed. So I said I'm not gonna start grinding this again if there's gonna be this big update, and then I'm gonna be like, all right, now basically everything I did was for no reason. I don't want to come back to a game where everything's reset. Like No Man's Sky had that big update after everyone said it was a shitty game. Now look at how many people are in No Man's Sky. I even started over No Man's Sky because of this fucking update that they had. But Avengers right now, they didn't talk about starting over. They're just talking about patching and then giving us this new content. So that's why I'm still in it, because I want to be up there. I want to be powerful. I still like unlocking all these new costumes. It's just, I don't know. It's something about the combat is great. Just like
Is it
Anthem.
because it's like superheroes and it's Captain America? If this was not Avengers game, but everything was the same, would you still be playing it?
Probably not. I think, yeah, I don't think I'll probably be playing it. I just love getting these new costumes. I love
Yeah.
showing Thor's powers. I love showing people, hey, look what I could do. You know, I'm a show off.
I
when
mean,
it comes to
honestly,
certain
I
games.
think who's your main? Is it Thor? Who's
My
Captain
favorite character is actually Iron Man.
America? Okay.
Mhm.
Mine's just Thor, and like the ability, like this him throwing the hammer, the lightning, it's just
I
like
love it,
it's like
man.
so
I
fucking
love
good.
feeling like a fucking Avenger, man.
Yeah.
I love all that shit, man. It's good. I'm trying to think of what other game I wanted to talk. What games have you been playing lately? I know I brought up some games. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk to you about and Mark. I was talking to Mark. I'm trying to convince him to buy the game. What's it called?
Phasmophobia.
Yes, so the
Phasmophobia.
game's a theme game, guys. A scary game, like some paranormal activity shit type game, you know. And
Yes.
I told Freddie I want him to talk about it because I want to.
So,
Hey, I
Mark, have you
played it.
seen?
I haven't played
Sorry,
it
have
yet.
you seen any of it at all?
I've
Seen the
watched the
trailer.
trailer.
Okay, so the trailer, like, okay, I'm trying to get good with using headphones to play games because I usually just use the TV or the laptop. So I just loaded it up. I saw like some people talking about it. I do the tutorial with the headphones on. The minute you walk into the beginning, the tutorial, just to teach you how to play the game, you go into the house, you hear this like this fucking like to set the tone the second you walk in the house. I literally had to stop playing. There's nothing happened yet. I just
Yeah,
literally just
no
walked
Resident
into the house and I'm like, I can't do this. I gotta get out. And like it sets the tone so good. And like you have a flashlight that's a shitty flashlight. You only can see like a couple of feet in front of you, and you have an EMF radar, which is pretty much it goes off every time there's a ghost close by. So you're like you can't see anything, and it starts going off, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? And you can't run fast, so you're just stuck in this house, and like it does such a good job of creating an environment and a tone that like it's just so much fun. And the fact that it's co-op, so all of us could play, and it's VR too, which I don't have the VR equipment, but I'm pretty sure that'd be pretty fun to play.
not doing it.
But it's just like I've watched a lot of those Ghost Adventure shows, so I always in the back of my head was like, maybe I could do this for life. It would like do this for life.
For
I
those
can't.
who don't know, me
I
and
can't.
Freddie's fallback plan in life, if we didn't have no wife or kids, was to be Ghost
Ghost
Adventures when we were in
Adventures.
high school. We said if we had no life and we couldn't get our good jobs, we would both become Ghost Adventures. Like,
No, it was for real. It was like really like let's just do it. Fuck it.
Well,
So
now we have the chance
Oh,
to do it
TV now?
virtually.
That'd be good. That would have been a good job for us right now.
yeah, I think this is it's definitely a game that I would love to stream, all of us. And it's definitely a game that maybe we could do a quick video on before, especially in October. But like, so you see these movies, the TV shows, they have the EMF reader, they have the spirit box. You have all these things in these games, and they act the same way. So the whole point of the game is to go into a haunted house. You have a little information, and the selling point, I think the thing that makes this game unique is that you could speak to the game. So they tell you the name. So for this instance, it's John. So you're like, John, give me a sign. And then something moves. And you have the spirit box. And you're like, John, what do you want? This happened to me. I'm like, John, what do you want? And it says kill. I just fucking booked out of that. Like, that's the thing, because you hear it behind you. You're like, care. And then you hear footsteps. I'm like, nah, I'm good. And I just dip. So like, this is a video game, and I don't play. It's just like those feelings of like, this is like for real. It's like you have to, and then the cool thing is like you're investigating, so you have to find out what kind of spirit it is. It's different spirits. It's like a demon, a poltergeist, and you have to figure out. You have to find the signs, and you have these equipment to figure it out. So I think that it's just it's like a puzzle game where like you have to figure out what spirit it is and get the fuck out of there before it kills you. Because after the initial setup, it tries to haunt you, and like if you're and you have a meter, it's called sanity. If that drops a certain point, then that spirit is able to like kill you. So you gotta like be smart. Yeah, so you gotta like keep up on that, and you gotta like figure out what kind of spirit it is before it kills you. But I think it's a fun game, and something that I've been playing a little bit, but I want to definitely play more.
How does playing this game co-op feel different than playing it alone?
I feel safer when there's other people. I can't play this game by myself. So like, that's the thing. Like, you play with headphones, you hear the steps behind you. Yeah. You're like, John, give me a sign, and then he turns the TV on. You're like, what the? And like, you just like it spooks you out. And then like and like there's different signs, and they're able to turn off the lights. So you what I do is I go through the house, I turn all the lights on because I want to see everything, and then you start putting down video cameras to record. And you can see like spirit orbs, and then you have an EMF reader, and but it starts fucking with you after a while. It starts turning off the lights. It starts storing things at you. It starts to make the room colder so you can see your breath in the game, and like you have to turn the lights back on, go to the breaker box. Like, it's a really fun puzzle game, and I think I want to do a video by myself, but I don't know how far I could get in it. But definitely co-op is just having that fun of just like,
I'm ready.
Yeah,
I'm ready. So
we should definitely do this.
Do this during this week. Like, can't today because we got more football to watch because it's Sunday and we're recording while football's on. But definitely ready to do it. Mark, you got any questions about the game?
Nah, it's also downloading on Steam.
Nice. So that's 3 of us. 3 players right now.
So I'm ready to go. But it is October and Halloween, so I wonder if anybody's playing any other quick scary games before we go.
What's your favorite scary game?
Oh my god. It has to be Resident Evils. You know, just because I like them all. 6 was iffy. 4 is always fun because I like listening to them speak in Spanish and curse me out. It always made me laugh. You know, but as with any Resident Evil game, it's just I always get it, turn the lights off, like, yeah, I'm gonna go in. I start hearing shit behind me, game goes off. A year later I pick it up and I'll go through it. So for me it would have been that for sure.
All right.
How about you guys?
Oh man, I'm trying to think.
Resident Evil 7, I'll have to say, is my favorite scary game because it's like one of the first scary games that I actually finished. You know, like I actually finished.
I think you guys are sleeping on older generation games. For instance, Fatal Frame. Do you remember that game? Where you literally had to take pictures of ghosts. That's fucking scary. Do you remember Fear? That game is fucking scary.
Well, I was able to beat that too, but Fear was scary in part 1. Part 2, to me, it was more action oriented.
I don't think Resident Evil is scary. Like, I don't get it.
Resident Evil 7 in VR.
All right,
No.
VR was scary, but what's the other game?
It's
The one
scary.
where you have to like punch a lot. It's like it's a 360 game.
Oh no! Oh yes! Oh God! What's it called? What's it
That's
called?
what like starts with a C.
You're
and,
playing
like,
with the cop. You're playing with the cop.
yeah, and you
Um,
had to like the whole game was like you
Condemned.
punching. The Condemned?
Is condemned? Is it condemned? No, or oh God!
gotta look
I
it
gotta
up.
look this up, man.
But
What is
that
it?
game was scary.
Right? Let me see. I'm gonna look this up right now. On 360.
But did you ever play Fatal Frame, Mark?
Yeah,
That game, I remember not even playing it, but watching like my brother playing it and just being like, this is too fucking scary. Like
I'm
you
right.
really
It's condemned.
Oh yeah, Condemned. That game was scary. And that's
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
that-
Like you guys are like
Yeah.
sleeping on these
Yeah, I
classics,
forgot
man.
about that. That game, yo, oh my God.
it's selective memory.
Yeah, man.
What was the part where like because in that game you're the detective, so you had to use the camera to look
Camera
at
and everything.
foot-
Yep. I
remember that part when
shit.
it's like he's in like the
Mannequin?
bar? Yes, the
Yeah,
mannequin.
the mannequins were the fucking scary part. You know, you walking through the fucking building, the mannequins just keep showing up in your face.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yo,
Those are
that's
classics, man.
Shit,
Oh.
I don't know how I beat that game. I don't know how I think my brother was still living with me, and I was like, yo, don't leave the room until I finish playing this game. Yeah, it was just crazy. You know, we was taking turns with that. And I think you even lived with me at a
Yeah,
point.
I think you
were
was-
living with me when Condemned was out. We would take turns playing that damn game.
that game was scary.
Yeah, man, that was a fucking scary game. That is for fucking sure. Yeah, so Condemned. I'm trying to think if there's any other scary game I'm fucking forgetting about. Silent Hill always scared the shit out of me.
Silent Hill, I never. Okay, this is just me not playing my games, but I don't think I've ever played Silent Hill game from beginning to end. But Silent Hill always gave me like scary vibes, more scarier vibes than Resident Evil. Because I think Silent Hill, just the monsters itself are just scary. The famous
Silent
pyramid.
Hill always made me scarier than Resident Evil, man.
And the stories are more
Yeah.
complicated. Like, isn't there like a Silent Hill where like you're the killer and like you're like in denial about it? And like Resident Evil doesn't touch things like that. It's always like zombies. It's always a big corporation that's the evil person, you know? So I think Silent Hill to me it's a little more on
And one more to throw out there: Paranormal Activity VR.
Oh, I wouldn't
On my
touch that.
Oculus. Oh my God, I remember my wife watching me play this game on Oculus, and I'm just like, no, not Oculus, on my PS4 VR. And there's one part like you're checking the house, you gotta walk through every door, some doors are locked. Then there's like this room where you gotta go down. I'm like, yo, I'm telling you, whenever you gotta go down a hallway, something bad is gonna be behind you when you turn around. And then so the little girl runs down the hallway and they want you to chase her. Run, a bookshelf falls. And then you hear a voice behind you. I'm just like, I'm not turning around. So after like 2 minutes, the game forced me to turn around. They switched the camera and made me forcibly turn around. And the girl is there and like some demon looking form behind me. And they're just like, run. They just put it in like, run. And I'm just like, oh, you got to look for what door will open. And like, she's behind you and you're running. And it's just like, oh my God, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to make it. And I never turned the game back on after that. So haven't played past that.
One more game, PT. We didn't even talk about that.
Yes, PT.
PT was fucking scary.
Took me like 10 tries to finish PT.
When she catches you and her whole face shakes and she's choking the shit out of you,
Like
that's
10
scary.
I had to go through plenty of YouTube videos to get me through PT.
Mark, did you play PT?
No, I haven't done PT.
Oh my God,
man.
that game
You
is...
got that shit on your PS4, you'll make so much money trying to sell your
So
PS4.
I know I deleted it like an idiot and I
know,
can't get
me
it back.
too. Me too. But all right, guys. So I have one more topic I want to go over with my panel here. Mark has to go soon, so I'm going to start off with him. I want to go into early access games because me and Fred been playing Baldur's Gate 3 early access, and some people are hating that shit was $60. Like basically force you to pay for it right now. Like, do you feel like some early access games are worth it? Do you ever feel like you want to play something, or are you the type that likes to wait till a game is completely finished before you play it. Like, what's your thoughts on early access games?
Well, circle back to what you guys were just talking about with Marvel's Avengers. You guys bought the game, and it still doesn't seem like it's finished. But
Boom.
it's a supposedly was a finished game,
I was gonna
and you're
say,
still
do you
getting
think?
patches.
Yes, do you think that
And
would have
so
helped the early access? Do you think that would have helped early access,
I
Marvel?
think it may have would have helped early access. For me, it depends on who's publishing it, what games have they done before, or does this pique your interest? If you're gonna put money up for it so that they can finish developing it because you want a polished game after, that's great. The game might not even be done, and it's like a demo that you paid up front, but at least you could get it. But it's user beware with anything you do. It's buyer beware. Um, I like it because I get to play it before somebody bombs it themselves. I don't know what it is about people review bombing things before the shit comes out to
Yeah.
begin with because it doesn't help anything. So if I get to experience it before the masses do myself, I'll do it. But it's not going to be any game, and it's not for every game. Oh, EA, for the life of me. I keep getting sucked into the EA cycle, especially with their Star Wars games. Thank you, Squadrons. That's kind of more up my
Next
alley
week
than.
we will talk about Squadrons next week. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm going to make my segment short because I do got to jump off. But, you keep funneling your money into them because you get suckered in and you just keep doing it. So buyer beware, trust, and do your research. That's all I got to say about early access.
All right, Mark, thanks for joining us. And Mark is out, guys. So it's just going to be me and Freddie to finish off this segment, man. Thanks again. We'll see you later.
Gentlemen, have a good one.
Yes,
Yep.
hopefully we play tonight. All
Yep,
right.
let me know.
All right. So just me and Fred now. And so, Fred, man, me and you both playing Baldur's Gate. And we're like, I know we're both having fun with it, and I hating it. The game's not finished in any sort of way, but I think me and you are in the medium in which we don't really judge unfinished games the way other people like to judge unfinished games. I think one thing we both could agree on is if you're going to make us play something that has maybe a year or two before being released, not making us pay full price for it. Maybe take $15 off. I think that would have benefited the game much more.
I agree. I remember when you was mentioning because Stadia was hyping this up, like early access on Stadia, just click
They
and
didn't
play.
tell us we had to pay for it.
And that's the thing. Like when I had it on my calendar, like I'm gonna play some fucking Baldur's Gate. It's gonna be dope. And then the day it comes, I'm like $60. I'm like, nobody said that I got to pay $60 for this.
Exactly.
And like, I totally understand that. And for Baldur's Gate specifically, I was gonna buy this game anyways. So the $60, yeah, I got to pay up front and it sucks. But I was gonna buy this anyway. So for me, $60 is a lot, and I think that it should say early access with purchase. I think if they would have clarified that, I don't think there'd be so much heat. But like, I wasn't expecting to pay $60. I was like, what the fuck? I was always hesitant. I'm like, nah, I need to play it. But like, I think $60 is a lot for early access.
That shit works on Steam because people are now Steam has already accustomed us to this. Here's this random game came out. Do you want to play it early? And they have this whole description of what's to come with the game, what's left out, what you might not be able to do. Where Baldur's Gate told us, hey, some of your save files might be erased, blah, blah. They told us that, but if it was on Steam alone, I think we would have been more forgiving of Steam because Steam has this whole process with releasing early access games, as opposed to Stadia, where this is their first ever early access game that they're releasing. And I'm not going to knock them because they needed something of this level for people to be like, yo, Stadia has this shit early. Maybe we should go and pay at least $10 this month so we could try out this game. And since people have to pay for it, when their Stadia subscription is over, they still get to play it because they're paying for the full game anyway. And the game, hence, a lot of games are 30, 35 hours anyway. And so they're just like, hey, pay it now. You're getting like 30, 35 hours of this game, where they could have just been like, hey, this is just a 5-hour demo. After 5-hour finishes, you have to start all over again. At least they didn't do that. And you never played Divinity. And I did. I know I paid for early access to Divinity, and I did have
full price.
the full price of the
Okay.
game for Divinity. So I understood, but at the same time, just like I didn't expect it from Stadia, because Stadia never did this before. So I wasn't expecting Stadia to make us pay uh, pay early or the full amount for. I think those of us that want to invest in this game early should be rewarded with a discount or
I think
something
so
like
too.
that for being able to deal with your glitches, being able to deal with, hey, I played 10 hours of this game. Oh
And
my
my
God,
save.
my file just got deleted. Now I got to start all over. But I paid full $60. Why am my file getting deleted if I'm
I
paying
was
a
gonna
full buck?
ask you just because this is early access, and a lot of people's frustration with that is the fact that like it's buggy as hell. There's just a lot of things that don't work. Multiplayer there hasn't worked. I haven't tested it out since last time we
Yeah,
played.
we have to try.
Um, but for the other side of the conversation, I other than like a little glitchy here, a little glitchy there, I haven't experienced a game breaking bug. Have you experienced anything like that?
Nope, nothing. My file saves have been great, except for one time when I started the game. I know I saved it in a specific spot, and then when I went back to the game, they only let me load up my quick save,
Okay.
which was before the spot I saved in. And I'm just like, well, at least this is only like 2 minutes away. But that was the only thing that fucked me over. Other than that, the game's been great to me. I don't mind paying the $60. I just felt like it would be better if I didn't have to spend the full amount, because what if we don't like the game? Like,
The
so
refund,
why
yeah,
do we
there's no
have to
refund.
pay,
We're just stuck
yeah, the
with it.
full price for a game that we ended up not liking? So now we should be able to, or at least say in the refund policy, early access games, you have up until the date of release to refund your money for the early access game if you don't like the game.
I was
Because right
gonna,
now it's 48 hours.
yeah. If let's just say if your whole file size just deleted out of nowhere, would you start over or would you wait for the game to come out?
I'm waiting for the game to come out.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that shit over.
Yeah.
Most definitely. I got too many games to play right now. And I guess that's some people's argument that they have too many games to play to worry about games that aren't finished. But me, like, I'm an addict. I have to like
Because
think
they
about
already said that the save's not gonna cross over. So whatever you do now is not gonna go to the main game.
yeah.
They already said that. So like, so I'm so I'm doing something different. Usually I'm the good guy in these kind of games. Oh, I try to be the asshole, but I end up just always doing the right choice. So what I'm doing now for Baldur's Gate is fuck it. I'm just a dev or evil person. I'm doing the worst possibility because I'm like, this is not gonna cross over. This is not gonna transfer over.
I'm
So let me
surprised
just
that they're saying that.
experience that, and we just experience being the dark side because usually I'm not. So
You
like it'd
never
be pretty
know.
cool.
They might let it cross over because they told us that with Divinity 2, but our file saves crossed over when it came out, when it was fully. Only thing we had to do, they made us delete our regular game and have to re-download it. The full game. That's what they made us do. At least with Stadia, you don't have to worry about downloading games. So I'm wondering if there's going to be a difference. Maybe on console we can continue our save file, and on Stadia because everything is cloud based.
Maybe,
Maybe
yeah.
we might have to start over. Hopefully we don't.
Well,
But
because apparently there's certain classes that they haven't released yet. There's
yeah,
certain like so like to me, I probably would want to start over anyways and try because I don't know what I'm doing. So this would probably be a good learning thing. Learn all the bugs. I mean, learn all the abilities. Learn what I like, what I don't like, and for when the game finally does come out, I have a better understand. I mean, like you said, I haven't played the past game, so this is all new to me. I'm pretty sure I already fucked up my character. So like I'm looking forward to like kind of starting over with a little more knowledge of
I
like
know I'm
what
gonna
I
start
want.
over anyway because I know when Mo gets. I probably got to get this on PlayStation because I want to play with like Mo, you, and then still like, I'll probably have this one on Stadia, and then when it comes out on PlayStation, I'm gonna buy it again because I want to play multiplayer. So I'll probably play multiplayer with you on Stadia, multiplayer with Mo on PlayStation 5. Because me and Mo loves Divinity. Mo, oh my God, him in these strategy games, like Mo would literally text me all night about what we need to fucking do tomorrow to make it to the next part of these strat. I should have probably had him for this segment talking about this, but probably when the game comes out, I'll put him on the pod and stuff. And guys who don't know, Mo is my cousin who I play all my multiplayer games with. He's always there, ready for co-op. But damn, we are supposed to talk about Ghost today too, guys. But I'm gonna leave that for next week.
We'll
When we
get
get
more hours into it, anyways. We're
yeah,
pretty.
we're like
Have you?
over an hour, probably 2 hours. It's for those of you who made it to the end of this pod. God bless you for listening to all the shit we had to talk. Hopefully, it was entertaining enough for you that you guys made it this far. I guess I'll see on the YouTube numbers. If like I said, early access still good, still bad for certain stuff. If you're on Steam, I love early access in Steam. For other things, it's iffy, but I love early access. I don't mind trying out anything early because I just love being able to play things before everybody else plays it. Like Mark says, before people start giving it hate. Vendors definitely should have been in early access before it
Yeah.
came out as that #1 game that should have been in early access. But guys, thanks for tuning in. We're about to go back and watch our football. It is Sunday. It's been a drink and a game. Check out our other podcasts. Check out the Gamerish podcast. Check out us. We go live every Thursday at 8:30 p.m. from this week. Well, every week we do it. So check us out. If you're watching us on YouTube right now, please like and subscribe. If you're listening to us on Anchor or any other platform, iTunes or whatever, please like and subscribe. We appreciate all the love. Until next time, guys, peace out. Enjoy your drinks, enjoy your games.